Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Connor, and today I'm going to be going over the number one thing that poor people waste money on. All right, let's get right into it. So, there are a lot of things that people waste money on, okay? A lot of people believe that the biggest ones are like eating out, vaping, smoking, like doing stuff like that. But there's one thing that, especially nowadays, ever since social media came about, that's been very, very popular for the poorest people to use to waste all their money. And it's really keeping them from not only success, but from ultimately keeping people like you and me from really knowing if someone is wealthy or not. And that one thing is looking rich, okay? It could be wearing expensive clothes. It could be going places that they can't afford to eat. It could be traveling places that they can't afford to just go home a week later and go back in with their parents. It could be a lot of things, but that's like the number one trend right now, looking rich, okay? And so how do you avoid that? It's called avoiding shiny object syndrome. That's what I call it. Shiny object syndrome is when you aim to have the next shiny object. And how you know if you have shiny object syndrome towards a certain item is whenever you consider whether or not you're going to purchase it, you think about, would I still want this item if no one else knew I had it? And for a lot of people, when you're looking at that Rolex, you're looking at that car, and I'll go back. I think a Rolex is a good purchase, okay? One, it holds value, and two, you get more respect in a business environment. But as far as cars, those Louis Vuitton belts, the Gucci, and all that stuff is not as important as having a nice pair of shoes. I think one nice pair of shoes is very important. I believe in that. I believe that a nice belt is important. I feel like shoes and a belt are what really make a man. And if you're a really, really big business person that's always wearing a suit, I would suggest getting a good suit. I know like all the kids or like what's trending right now in suits is Tom Ford, okay? So if that's where your pockets are at, it's not about investment. But what I'm talking about is going to like Benihana's or going to these places where it's always good to treat yourself, but when you're going there so often with the mentality that I'm gonna be able to put on my Snapchat this new food that I'm getting. I'm gonna be able to put like on my Instagram that I'm like in my friend's car. Like I literally see all these people, I'm not gonna at anyone, but they literally go to car dealerships to take pictures with the cars and like videos with the cars, and it's just like, dude, like I just went to your house, like we were just hanging out and like you were struggling and it was clear. Like you didn't even have to tell me. Like I could tell from like the way you were whenever you like had to pull out your card. Like literally I had someone who would post pictures with like Lamborghinis and Ferraris and stuff like that, and then he got a charge of $70 to his card for an e-commerce store, and his card ended up going negative, okay? So it's not all about that, dude. And I encourage those of you who are not like doing that kind of stuff but observing it and seeing people that are doing it, to not just believe what your eyes tell you, to think about what led them to believe that this would be a good purchase, okay? And so if you're seeing them and they have like, and they're in like a nice car and stuff like that, especially people like my age, like 18 years old, these guys don't pay for their shit. It's all their parents. They might tell you that it's not them, that it's them, but it's really not, dude. Especially when you see when you're around their parents, you're like, oh, how do you like your new car, honey? The insurance is gonna be this, but we'll cover it and stuff like that. And so my saying is, everyone's rich until they receive the invoice. And what I mean by that is everyone's balling out, everyone's rich, everyone's like posting pictures, going and having good experiences and like driving these nice cars and going to these fancy restaurants. But at the end of the day, once they have that bill hit, it's like, oh shit. But like, they weren't like that when they were spending all that money at Benihana's. They weren't like that at all. They weren't like that when they were telling you and I that they were just balling out and their new business is doing so well. They weren't doing any of that. They were just flexing what they don't have. They were flexing someone else's money. They were flexing their parents' money. And at the end of the day, this is like a new trend, especially on Instagram. And this isn't just like millennials like myself. This is even adults. Like I see adults and I see gurus, and the number one people that I really notice are not successful is I have a few friends that are Instagram models. Okay, like girls, and then they text me and they're like, I really need help. Like I can't even pay my rent this month with this money. Like you might assume that they're getting all these sponsorships and making all this money, but even those sponsorships aren't that much. Like even with Fashion Nova, like they're not paying that much unless you're like Cardi B or someone like that. It's really not like that at all. And so when you see these fashion models and you see how it is and you want to be this Instagram influencer, you got to realize that that's, who are you influencing? You're not influencing anybody. You're just showing off something that's unobtainable through your Photoshop edits, and you're just not making any money, to be honest with you, because the sponsorships aren't going to cover your rent. The sponsorships aren't going to cover anything. So if you're considering being an influencer, then I would push you to reconsider. And with that said, influencers and like fashion models are not the only people that I'm talking about. I'm talking about anyone, like even business people. Like, dude, if you took that money that like, I literally saw someone spend like $2,000 at a club, and then the next day they couldn't even like afford to like get food. Like they went the whole day without eating and stuff. And I'm not encouraging you to like, I encourage you to take breaks. I encourage you to celebrate accomplishments, but a lot of people are celebrating nothing at all. And so what I encourage you to do is make sure that you don't have shiny object syndrome. Shiny object syndrome. I know I butchered that. And really, when you're considering something that you're going to purchase, like I said before, think about, if no one else knew that I had this, would I still want it? Would I still buy the Lamborghini if everyone thought it was a Toyota? But I was able to experience it. Like maybe you're a car enthusiast. Maybe you have a good time driving these cars. Maybe it really makes you happy. That's one thing. But a lot of people are purchasing things where they're not even happy when they get it. And shiny object syndrome could be the process of obtaining it too. You could be going and aiming towards that one goal, and that one goal could not be an amount of money. It could be, I want to have a Lamborghini. I want to have a Ferrari. And then once you get it, you don't feel happy. You don't feel happy because you expect everyone to just like go, whoa, nice car, that's crazy. And people might at first, and people might do that, but that's not what's really going to make you happy. What makes you happy is, what's the word? Making progress. Progress equals happiness, okay? So if you set these goals and you have a routine and stuff, and that money that you're making from your routine and your system, you want to be systemizing everything. You want to have a set schedule where you're getting things done, okay? So on your schedule, you're getting everything done. You're getting some money in. You can add stuff on that schedule where you're reinvesting it. So for example, if you want to run your own business, you can be reinvesting that money into ads. Instead of buying that food, instead of taking that trip, think about it. The first thing people want to do is travel, and people are like, oh, it's so important to travel while you're young. You have time. Especially if you reinvest that money, it'll be a lot easier and you'll have a lot more time. And later on, you could travel too. You could bring your whole family. You could bring your wife's family. You could bring your wife's friend's family. But for a lot of you, you're going to take the trip now, you're going to spend the money now, and then you're going to check your bank account once the party's over, and you already had that high of the night where you feel like the man, where you're throwing stacks and stuff, and then you got to work your 9 to 5 after that to pay it off just to do it once a week. Which isn't realistic if you're trying to get to that goal. Even if you're trying to get the Lamborghini, you're not going to get the Lamborghini like that. No matter what you're trying to do, systemize it. Upgrade your system. Upgrade your systemization by reinvesting the money. People think whenever I say investing money or encourage people to invest, they think that I mean investing into like a stock or an index fund or like real estate. I do not encourage that, especially for the people watching my videos. A lot of you guys are millennials. A lot of you guys are still figuring out what you want to do exactly. And so if you don't know what you want to do or what you want to focus on right now, focus it on investing in yourself. And what I mean by that is, find a mentor. Find a mentor. Your mentor doesn't have to be a billionaire. Doesn't have to be a 9-figure, 8-figure. They could just be worth like 500,000. 500,000 is still going to be a lot more money than you have. They could teach you stuff. And they're going to essentially give you the ladder to that next level. And then you're going to have that money. And then imagine how much more you can reinvest. Then you can start putting money here and there. But when you only have $100 in your bank account, what you want to do is you want to invest that into something. $100 is a lot of money, but you could invest in some ads. You can invest into some self-education. You could say to someone, I can guarantee you, anyone that's in the 7-figure range, actually I'm not going to say that, I'll say like 6-figure range with whatever they do. If you're like, hey, can I get a couple calls for $100? You like pull their brains. You're just doing all this stuff. Or take courses and stuff. A lot of people have mixed feelings on courses, but I really, really push courses because it's not like it's not what you think. People look at courses as, oh, I could find all this information on Google, or I could find it on YouTube and stuff like that. And that's true in a way, but at the same time, it makes it so that you get all the information fed to you while you're doing that process. Everyone that's teaching that kind of stuff, as long as they're a legit mentor or a course builder, they're going to be giving you the information step by step towards whatever you're going to do. And a lot of people, especially at the beginning of courses, or when they're introducing you, or you're going through the funnel, whatever else that course is about, they're going to be going over, this is where it's a trend. They say this is how many successful students I have. These are my 6-figure earners, 7-figure earners, and plus. These are my 5-figure earners. And when you're in this course, you can expect to learn this, this, and this. And if these are skills that you want to do, or a business model that you can get into, you can really get into that, and you can really focus on that. And you can really get to the next level. You can reinvest. You can start pouring money here, and then you can start pouring money into whatever fun stuff you want to do. Grant Cardone. A lot of people, millennials, or people that are on Instagram a lot and like those entrepreneurs with like the flashy cars and the loud voices and stuff, they really like Grant Cardone. And what is Grant Cardone saying? He says, I don't buy it. And what he means by it is like the watches and the nice cars, until I can pay for it with my passive income. And for a lot of you guys barely even know what passive income is. You guys think it's like not even real. A lot of you guys think it's going to be like just money that accidentally gets put into your hand or your wallet. But no, you can get passive income pretty fast with Facebook ads. You can get it with high ticket sales. High ticket sales I really, really love, because all you got to do is make calls. All you have to do is develop a skill, and that's what you develop in the courses. And then from there, you're able to get the money. You can reinvest it into whatever until you can pay for it with the passive income. And then you can really live that influencer life at the same time as you have money coming from something else. And then you're pretty much set. But what I don't want you to do is to spend your money now as you start to get a little bit of money, and then have no money to build and reinvest. Listen to what I said. Do not buy it until you can pay for it with passive income.